2024, the year ahead, and one prediction. This is what everyone needs to know in 2024. I make no predictions for the upcoming year, save one, that many prognosticators will be wrong and that 2024 will be fraught with perils and frustrations greater than many of us have seen in our lifetimes. And to boil it down to its essence, our perils and our frustrations are because we don't treat each other as we would like to be treated. Societies around the world and home in America have broken the golden rule. Do to others whatever you would have them do to you. Matthew chapter 7 verse 12. Between wars, climate change, and the big question of the year, who will win the 2024 congressional and presidential election in the United States, there are continuing, worldwide issues that all of humanity faces, and the entire world, and all species, for that matter. And of course, all of these issues come back to how we treat each other. The big takeaway for 2024 is that the world is on a precipice. Things can't stay the way they are now. Things will either get better, or a heck of a lot worse. Humanity has been kicking too many cans down the road for too long, and we're going to have to face the challenges ahead both as individuals and as humanity to be able to substantially impact and negate the worst effects of our previous inaction. And we'll need to address the consequences of our past inactions. For example, climate change is impacting the economy and livelihood of millions worldwide, causing migrations and further instability, including possible wars. 2023 was the hottest year on record since record-keeping began, and 2024 could be even hotter. The United States Fish and Wildlife Service reported that 21 species went extinct in the US alone in 2023. The exact numbers of species going extinct every year worldwide are unknown because of the difficulties in estimating exactly how many species there are out there. New species are being discovered all the time, and according to Natural Habitat Adventures, there are over 18,000 new species discovered every year. The higher the number, the more species per year that will go extinct due to a myriad of reasons, namely human-caused climate change, land encroachment, deforestation, pesticides and pollution, limiting the amount of biodiversity in the world. The World Wildlife Fund reports that current extinction levels are 1,000 and 10,000 times higher than the natural extinction rate, and that, because of human action and inaction, we're in the world's sixth extinction crisis in geological history. The projected range of species going extinct every year in this sixth extinction level crisis is anywhere between 200 and 100,000, again, depending on how many species there are. There could be as little as 2 million species in the world or as many as 100 million. Hence the big differences in the range. We may be killing off species faster than we can discover them. If that doesn't bother you, check out my video on compassion. I also have a video on the extinction of bees and several videos on global warming and the climate crisis. We're literally killing the plants and animals that keep us alive, keep us fed, give us oxygen and make the world a richer, more diverse beauty than we deserve. We should all be following in the example of St. Francis of Assisi and be stewards of the earth, not destroyers of it. Much of our problems stem from our insatiable desire as a society for consumption. I have a couple of videos on that topic, but my favorite is Timeless Elegance. Top 5 reasons you should go old school style goes into that in greater detail. We're also going to be continuing to deal with El Niño, which may lead to more extreme heat and weather-related events and more heat strokes and possibly hypothermia in colder climates. Watch my videos on climate change and top 10 things to do about climate change for more information. Some areas will see drier conditions, exacerbating issues of drought and famine. Other areas will see increased storms. More people will die. According to the United Nations, in the past 50 years, 2 million people have died because of extreme weather worldwide, much of it caused by climate change. The numbers are projected to greatly increase in the years ahead if we don't limit carbon and methane emissions drastically. A wider conflict in the Middle East or Europe is possible. China's economy is under strain and leader Xi Jinping, President of the People's Republic of China, may use an offensive against Taiwan to bolster his nation's denizens' opinion of him. Much of what happens worldwide in 2025 will be dependent on who wins the 2024 elections in America, especially that of the White House. God knows what November 2024 will be like, but there will probably be more issues with vote counting, voter disenfranchisement, and voter suppression than we even saw in 2020. Let's hope there isn't any violence. If we elect fascists into American politics, we could very well lose our democracy in 2025, which is a real and present threat. Watch my videos The Rise and Fall of the Republican Party, Conspiracy Theories, a deep dive, are conservatives, and some Republicans, fascists. And my videos on the importance of voting, for more information. To say that America has become an unreliable partner in world affairs, especially after 2016, would be an understatement. We've lost much of our soft power, especially after our mangled pullout in Afghanistan, and even more over our stance in the genocide of thousands of Palestinians. We've already seen the world start to coalesce to a new equilibrium where humanity speaks with one voice, sans the voices of America, Russia, China and the other larger powers. Watch my video The Importance, Mandate, and Promise of the United Nations for more information. The rest of the world, well, except for the US, Great Britain and the Netherlands, has started, if they didn't already know, to truly understand the trauma inflicted by the sins of Western civilization, a history of beauty and blood, of colonialism, slavery, and racism. The world is ready for equality for all, and they're starting to demand it. We are, after all, one race, one species. Humanity originated in Africa, and some of our ancestors left that continent between 200,000 to 60,000 years ago. Our DNA is 99.9% the same. Why is racism still a thing in the 21st century? It was a made-up rationale for domination of billions. Racism has no basis in science or in fact. I have a few videos on that topic as well. No one can reasonably be a racist. Racism is antithetical to reason. As is climate denialism. When 99% of the world's scientists say climate change is real and a threat to life on Earth, anyone who says otherwise needs to take a deep look at themselves in the mirror and ask why they disagree with the majority of the world's population. A little soul-searching would be beneficial as well, as it would be for all of us. The history of humanity is migration and diversity. Until we all can accept that we all have a right to be here and that we all deserve the same human rights we want for ourselves, we're never going to advance as a civilization. And one of the biggest threats to that is nationalism, which is a lie. The fallacy of nationalism is that most nation-states are a relatively new concept. Most modern countries weren't even founded until the 19th century. Many until after World War II. The world's newest country, South Sudan, wasn't formed until 2011. The concept of nation-state is well established, but the concept of nationalism is still new. Countries change. Borders change. People move. Americans move most of all. Nationalism just doesn't make any sense. Every country has migrants, every country has minorities. Through each of our lineages, we could find ancestors who came from somewhere else, so back to my original statement. Why can't we all just get along? The cost in lives, in wealth, in diversity, culture, technology and history are too enormous to our shared civilization. The cost is too high for wars, for subjugation, oppression, racism and discrimination. Didn't we learn that after World War II? We're all one race, one species. Why can't we treat each other with the respect and dignity we all deserve? We all deserve equal human and civil rights. And that being said, the other major issue that needs to be addressed in 2024 is economic inequality. According to the World Bank, nearly 700 million people around the world today live in extreme poverty, meaning they live on less than $2.15 per day. According to the news, and I've sourced a CNN article in my description below, wealth inequality grew in 2023. And, according to Statica, the top 10% of wealth in the United States owns 66% of the entire wealth of the nation. That's stark, and yeah, guess that old saying is right, the rich get richer and the poor get poorer. If we don't experience things like war, famine, homelessness, violence, and racism, discrimination, or poverty, we may sometimes find it difficult to grapple with understanding what it's like for those who suffer from it. But if we all deserve the same things, why do we allow things like that in the first place? People die of starvation and homelessness and for lack of health care, even in the United States. You can go into debt just to keep alive. It shouldn't be this way, it shouldn't be this hard. If I ask you to watch one video, watch this one. Americans don't like to talk about money. It's the crux of everything I'm talking about. We all deserve better. And even if you aren't suffering from some major issues, I'm sure you're still having a harder time to get by. Think about this. While some die of starvation, heat exposure, and countless other things because of lack of money, other people have more than they can spend in several lifetimes. Several lifetimes. It shouldn't be this way. Again, to advance as a civilization, we need to end racism, ethnocentrism, nationalism, fascism, xenophobia, authoritarianism, and economic injustice. Greed and racism have no place in the 21st century. Frankly, the rich should be taxed a heck of a lot more than they are now, and the government should do more to make everyone's life better. Reaganomics and the whole supply-side economics was a lie too, and perhaps as dangerous as the one about different human races or that of climate denialism. The idea that wealth for the top to trickle down to the rest of us was not only a lie, but an untested hypothesis, and we all know where that got us, like I said, more wealth inequality. How about this? Instead of depending on the rich to give us some, why don't we just get directly ourselves in the first place? Don't governments owe us the whole pursuit of happiness thing? And we have to ensure a planet that can not only sustain us but enrich us. Most of us need to get into nature more. So, I've set the stage for 2024. There are a lot of interrelated obstacles all caused by us not caring for each other. We all need to get on the same page, accept and live by the golden rule if we aren't already, and demand through elections that our politicians do the same. We owe that to ourselves and to each other. If we don't, I think you can guess as to my level of anxiety for 2024. If you haven't heard of the Doomsday clock by the Bulletin of the Atomic Scientists, they've created a metaphorical clock that shows how close we are to destroying ourselves, represented by midnight. It gets updated once a year. In January of 2023, they advanced the clock to 90 seconds to midnight, down from 100 seconds because of the war in Ukraine. I'll do a video on when they release their numbers for 2024. The clocks went up and down over time, but in contrast, it was 7 minutes to midnight in 1947 when it was created. From 7 minutes to 90 seconds. And it's only going to inch closer up to midnight in 2024. We can all make the world a better place if we all agree to. But the time is now. We're literally racing against the clock. Thank you for watching. My channel, The Renaissance Spirit, is dedicated to the pursuits of a just, equitable, and humanitarian world. Video topics encompass areas including the history, politics, religion, personal development, society, culture, social and environmental justice, and other topics of liberal arts and sciences including ancient Rome and the Roman Empire, a great comparison and contrast of the modern world. Topics perfect for the true modern polymath. The Renaissance ushered in a golden age and the pursuit of knowledge both lost to time and yet to be discovered. It gave birth to the Enlightenment and the Age of Reason. Embracing truth, knowledge, and an understanding and compassion for humanity opens up the world to each of us individually and improves all of humanity, affording us the opportunity to be better stewards of the earth and to each other. The Renaissance spirit. More than just a philosophy or style, but a style for living, learning, growing and thinking. Please subscribe, turn on notifications, and share. If you're looking to explore and experience what life has to offer, I'm sure you'll enjoy the other videos on my channel. Please peruse to your heart's content, and let me know in the comments what you get out of them and what other videos you'd like to see. But first, please take the quiz next to see if you're a Renaissance spirit. Live the Renaissance spirit.